Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Saint Struggle. My name is Manxman Matt, and today we're going to face Brighton at home and then we're going to be away against Liverpool. Our form since the last game has been fairly good, as you can see from the left hand side there. We are in 10th position in the league. I'll just take you through the games. So, the last game you were here for was the Huddersfield loss, I think. So, we managed to beat Spurs in the league in what was a bit of a thriller. So, as you can see, went 1-0 up and were pulled back to 1-1 straight away. Then went 3-1 up and were again pegged back. And then we won a penalty in the last minute, and Jackson Martinez scored it to win us the game. It was like I say, a really close game, and it was a really enjoyable one to watch. I'm a bit gutted that it wasn't one of the ones that I recorded, but I never thought I was ever going to win that game, and it was nice to come out with a victory. And that kick-started a decent run of form. I know we lost away to West Ham. Is what it is. We went 1-0 up and then just collapsed. It was a bit disappointing, but you have games like that, and then we've managed to beat Middlesbrough, beat Burnley, beat West Brom, and then I again played the reserves in the Carabao Cup. Thinking back, maybe that was a silly idea. It's a fairly close game, to be honest with you, against Tottenham. I know we only scored in the last minute and they scored three, but most of the I think they scored all of their clear chances and there weren't many other highlights other than the goals. We had a couple of highlights where players didn't score, didn't play as well as I'd hoped they did, but it is what it is, and I'm not too fussed about getting knocked out of that. So we're going to play Brighton and Liverpool, and then I'm probably going to skip all the way to the Chelsea and Wolves games. So we'll then have all of the transfer window offline. I highly doubt I'm going to make many, if any, transfers. The club's starting to be in a little bit of debt because spent. They gave me a transfer budget of whatever it was, and I spent probably double it by, cheating the system and buying players on the Never Never, which was a bit silly. I've brought you to this screen. Just going to show you the player stats. Jackson Martinez is the top scorer in the league, and he's cleared by 3 goals. He's been in an incredible run of form. I think he's got 2 or 3 in each of those games where we've since the last episode, with the exception of the Carabao Cup game that he didn't play in. So things are going really well for us, and hopefully we can push on today. So if we just look at the team selection, we've got the usual back five of Fraser Forster, Cedric, Harry Maguire, Antonio Rudiger, and Gerhardt. I know Lenglet was in there for a lot of time instead of Rudiger. Rudiger's basically said either I start or I'm leaving, and I don't want to lose him. He's a good player. He's coming into his own now. His form is improving. He was down at 6.1 or 6.2 for a while, but he's starting to get back properly into it. He's starting to gel into the team. Lenglet is great to have as cover on the bench for centre back and left back, and then we can have a right back on the bench. Means we get a goalkeeper on the bench, which I don't always have. We then got the midfield three without the centre attacking midfielder is pretty much fixed now. Romeo and Didi and Pasalic with Lamino on the bench to come in for Pasalic, maybe. But those three are pretty much nailed on to start in their positions. Holtby and Tadic rotate more often than not, but Holtby's got the shout today. Jackson Martinez and Danny Ings is definitely our best striking partnership. Both Wilson and Iheanacho are out injured, so we've only got Sam Gallagher on the bench as a striker cover, which is a little bit concerning, but at the same time, we're just going to have to live with it. The bench is Galini, Lenglet, Durm, Lamina, Liam Kelly, Dusan Tadic, and Sam Gallagher. And let's get into this Brighton game and hope that we can push on, especially with us now being 10th in the league and having an outside chance of Europe. So there is the Brighton team. Don't think it's changed that much since the last time we played them. If you remember, Nigel Adkins warned me about Stefarovic up front before the last game. I said I'd never heard of him, and then he went and scored. Adkins has warned me against him again today, so he'll probably score again today. But hopefully we can nullify him now that we've got Maguire and Rudiger at centre back, who are playing a lot better than they were last season when we played these guys. Let's get into the game anyway. Forster with the goal kick, brought back by them. Though Romeo's won it back. Pasalic now has it. Cedric been swamped by three men there, but he still managed to get out of it. Martinez, Holtby played and Didi through, but he doesn't get there. Gerhardt crossed the ball in, and I think Jackson Martinez hit the post there. That's unlucky. Throw in by Cedric, Romeo, Rudiger, lost out, but we've won it back. Lost it again, though. Lost it in midfield. Sigurdsson forward to Seferovic, Izquierdo, Gezal, and good save by Fraser Forster there. Going forward, we've lost the ball. Gerhardt's now got it out wide. In Danny Ings, who should have done much, much better than that. Forster clears. Brought back. Romeo's got it back now. Pasalic. Danny Ings, and he's missed. Goal kick by them. We've cleared it, but only as far as their midfield. Sigurdsson's now got it. Shenikov, Gross, Sigurdsson, Shenikov, Gross. Gerhardt's won it back. Danny Ings now. Terrible ball, but indeed he's got it back. Holtby, Lewis Holtby scores. What a cracker. Let's have a look at that in 3D. So, ball over the top, but we didn't get very far. Indeed he wins it back, though. Out to Pasalic. Holtby takes one touch and sticks it in the top corner from the edge of the area. What a cracking finish that was. Does a cartwheel to celebrate as well. So they're on the break now. Gross in. A couple of bites of the cherry there, and we were lucky not to concede there. And Steferovic with a terrible, terrible effort there. Shenikov over to Gross. Proper. Gerhardt's won it back. Back to Fraser Forster. Rudiger. Romeo out to Cedric. Jackson Martinez in a bit of space. Crosses the ball in, and Danny Ings should have done better there. I think that was off the bar again. Might have been their goalkeeper. So 1-0 at half time. Fairly positive, but they've had a couple of chances themselves, and we should really be 3-0 up. Martinez and Ings have at least had one, if not two, chances to score, and haven't yet done so. But 1-0 is still positive. Let's see if we can kick on in this second half. So Maguire into Ndidi, Ings now Jackson Martinez through, and Martinez is just not with it today. I don't know. Like I say, he's scored a lot of goals in a short amount of time. Maybe he's used them up for now. Cedric's with a throw in. Romeo, Ndidi, Ings. Martinez has got it. He's going out wide. Out to Cedric's, and that was just straight into the keeper's hands. Cleared by him. It's bouncing around the midfield. Nobody's really taking control of it. Ings has now got it out wide into Martinez. Pasalic, and that's a fairly good effort. It's close, but not close enough. Thrown by Gerhardt down to Ings. Holtby plays Martinez through, and again that's straight at the goalkeeper. Corner comes in, Romeo, and that's a dreadful shot. Going to make some changes now. Romeo plays almost every minute of every game, so I'm actually going to give him a rest. Going to bring Kelly on. I thought he could do Carolero, but clearly not. Let's let him be a deep line playmaker on support. And it feels harsh to take Martinez off after he's been our best player for the last few games, but both him and Ings have had a lot of chances, so just going to swap that over, make the target man this side, and then we'll have Danny Ings go to an advance forward. Leave it like that, and we'll make another change with maybe 10 minutes to go. Izquierdo with a throw in, Steferovic, Sigurdsson, much. Oh, they've hit the post and then cleared by Cedric. Kelly with the ball in, Danny Ings straight down the keeper's throat. Maguire wins it back, but loses it straight away. They're building from the back. We've won it back though. Sam Gallagher, Danny Ings. Ings loses out. They're building through the middle. Cedric wins it back. Gallagher. Pasalic is through. Straight at the keeper, and it's out for a corner. Corner's coming in from Kelly and Didi. Pasalic. Rudiger, and that's straight to the keeper. Right. 10 minutes to go. Less than 10 minutes to go, sorry now. See if we can shut the game down. Holtby's played really well, but he's starting to get a bit tired. And I think it's probably best for us to just shut the game down entirely now. I know a lot of you will say this is horrible, horrible football. also taken out some link play between our midfield and strikers, but I just want to close the game down now. I'm not too fussed about winning by lots of goals. I just want to bring the tempo down and shut this game down. So no more highlights, which is exactly what I want to see. Hopefully this is the end of game highlight and not them building and oh, don't say that. Oh, he's put it over the bar and that's it. I was right. End of game highlight and that's it. We've won 1-0. Probably would have been better to, or we should have been better than that, but a 1-0 win is still positive enough. Keeps us on that winning run that's about to end now that we've got Liverpool and Manchester United in the next two games. So I'll skip through all the bits in between and I'll come back to you for the Liverpool game. So welcome back. We'll just get straight into sorting this. And FM will crash instead. I will attempt to bring this back. So if I am sick to death of starting this fucking episode, let's see if it fucking works this time. Genuinely sick and tired of and it just fucking crashing. So I'm finally able to start the episode. I don't know whether I've decided to show you the 5, 6 times I've tried to start this second part of this episode, where what I did was I tried to start recording whilst Football Manager was already running, and it just started to crash. I don't know whether that's because I'm on a shitty iPad that's far too old to be running modern FM games, and maybe it's just not designed to come out of FM and go back in. But I mean, it's been working for the last 2.5 seasons. I don't know why it would stop now. I know I had a couple of crashes whilst I was at Villa, but I just had 5 crashes, I think, trying to get to this bloody Liverpool game. So I had to actually start recording before I started FM. Bit frustrating. I'm just going to sort out the team and then I'll show you the team that we're going to use against Liverpool today. It's getting into the Boxing Day period now. Sorry, this game is on Boxing Day, so we're getting into silly period with fixtures. It's 4 days after our last game, and our next game is the day after tomorrow. So we're going to have to start rotating. But I think I'll try and play a strong team against Liverpool because I hate the bastards. So before we show you the team, I'd just like to show you that at the moment we're eighth in the league and we've got a couple of games in hand. Obviously, we need to win both of them to go up above Stoke, and that's as high as we can get. We can get up to 7th, but I said to you after the Chelsea game, possibly before the Chelsea game, that of the top 7, Stoke were the ones that were going to drop down, and we'd ideally look to be challenging for that 7th place. And at the moment, we are challenging for it. So I'm really happy with the performance. I don't expect to stay here for the rest of the season. We've been on a great run of form, and I know eventually that's going to come to an end. If we can stick around in 7th or 8th place, there's an outside chance that we could get Europa League if the FA Cup and League Cup are both won by top 6 clubs. So, it's a positive place to be. And as you can see, Liverpool are in 3rd, but they've only just been overtaken by United because United have played earlier in the day than this game. United have just won 4-0, which bodes not very well for our next game, but we'll see how things go anyway. So here's a team that I'm looking to use today. So we've got Fraser Forster in goal. Changed it up a little bit already. So we've got Cedric, Maguire, Lenglet and Gerhardt. So Lenglet's come in for Rudiger. We've got Romeo, Lamina's come in for Pasalic. Ndidi, Tadic has come in for Lewis Holtby, who picked up a knock midweek and is still not fully fit. And we're staying with Jackson Martinez and Danny Ings up front because we've not got that much else. So the guys that were playing have dropped onto the bench, and I've swapped Rollen onto the bench for Kelly because he can do the Carolero role that Ndidi does, and it gives us the chance to either rest Ndidi or Romeo if things just look like they're getting silly. I'd rather have them around for the whole of this period rather than getting players injured. Hopefully, I'm going to remember as soon as this game is finished to rest everybody for a day so that we don't drag them into training tomorrow and then make them play United the following day. But that's not something for you guys to worry about. So let's get into this game. I'm taking that off attacking, sorry, and we are going to go counter. So for those of you that are interested, that is the Liverpool team. Obviously, I started this save before January transfer window update, so Coutinho is still at Liverpool, where they've bought in Kieran Tierney, uh, Kieran Trippier from Spurs. I don't know who Alisson, the goalkeeper, is, so I'm guessing they've got a new goalkeeper. Sander Berger is that midfielder. I recognise the name. I don't know why. Maybe he was at Monaco. Is he Monaco? I don't know where he is, but yeah. And then obviously their front four of Lallana, Salah, Firmino, and Coutinho are the same. Matip and Gomez are obviously their centre backs in the real world. Obviously Joe Gomez doesn't start but and Naby Keita is. Did he go there in January this year in the end? I read something that said they bought out the contract so that instead of them getting him in June, they're getting him in January. I don't even know whether that happened. You can see how up to date I am with modern football and especially Liverpool's current team. Apologies, I just don't know. But there we go. So this is the teams that we're facing today. So let's get into the game. Matip to Coutinho, into Berg out to Salah. Salah cuts inside and the ball's gone wide. Salah's gone on injured. That's positive for us. Although they've brought on Mane, which is less positive. Ings forward, Matip has cut it out though, back to his goalkeeper because he's Liverpool and he doesn't want to play some real football. They'd just like to play route one and then try and go around the corners, and Coutinho is in and scored. So they all started that by doing the traditional Liverpool thing of we don't want to attack, so we'll give it back to our goalkeeper. They just launched it up the middle. Mane's quicker than our players, goes around the edge and nobody marks Coutinho. It's really disappointing, but Fraser Forster clears it. Jackson Martinez wins it, puts Danny Ings through, and he's rushed that. He's panicked. He's through one-on-one with the keeper if he takes two more steps, but no, he panics and just kicks it wide from outside the area. Kieran Trippier floats the ball in, but it's cleared. Naby Keita now. Mane, and that's a good save for Forster. Corners come in, cleared by Maguire. Tierney knocks it back in, and Matip scores. So Coutinho with the ball in. Maguire clears it, but only as far as Tierney. He heads it forward, and Matip gets on it and heads it into the goal. Forster with a clearance, and Didi flicks it on to nobody. Back to their goalkeeper again, because that's how Liverpool like to play. Don't want to play actual football, they want to play route one like Big Sam. Lallana now, back to Trippier. Coutinho back to Keita, and that's 3-0. There's no way back from this. Right, it's half time. I'm going to start resting a couple of players. I'm going to bring Rollen on for Ndidi, and I'm going to bring Sam Gallagher on for Jackson Martinez. There's no point in anybody trying to ruin themselves. So I'll give those guys a rest now. We'll save one because I'm sure I'm going to get an injury of some sort, but if not, by about 65, 70 minutes, I'll make that third change. Alisson clears it. Lenglet's won it back though. Forster now up to Gallagher. Tadic. Danny Ings is through. Danny Ings! Get in there. At least we scored against him, and it's one of their former players that didn't actually really ever play, as far as I'm aware. He maybe got like 5 games in total. Be interesting to see whether he actually played for them before we left him in game. I never really looked. Right, let's get Cedric off because he's playing well, but I don't want him getting knackered. Maguire's not going to play in the next game. I'm going to have to give him a rest. So leave him on and I'll take Cedric off, who's probably one of our better players, quite creative. Firmino straight at Forster. Matip. Mane puts the ball in the net. I was about to say it looked like the game would petered out to nothing and Liverpool were comfortable with what they had. It's an alright hit there from Firmino, but Forster probably could have done better, and from that angle we shouldn't be letting anybody have anywhere near that much space, or the keeper shouldn't be letting it in either. We're going to break for the last thing? No. Trippier's won it back and it should be about game over. It is game over. 4-1 loss to Liverpool. As I've said, they're massively overpowered in every football management or simulator game or whatever you want to call these. So that was to be expected. I'm pretty sure we're going to lose to United in the next game, but hopefully we can push on. As you can see, we're still in 8th position. West Ham behind us have uh, a worse goal difference, but as you can see, they're on the same points as us, but they've played a game more. So West Brom are our closest rival. As long as West Brom, Watford, and Leicester and Palace, and Huddersfield, look, I reckon all the teams around us now are kind of similar level to us. Maybe Palace and Huddersfield are punching above their weight. Maybe Swansea are a little bit, or maybe Bournemouth, sorry, are a little bit below where you'd expect them to be. But that table doesn't look anything out of the ordinary, apart from obviously the top two are never ever going to get there again in real life. That you will never ever see a top two that is Arsenal 1, Liverpool 2, other than possibly on the opening day of the season. But 17, 18 games into the season, you are not going to see Arsenal top of the league and Liverpool second in the next 10 years. Just not going to happen. I would like you to point me back to this video if it ever does. Um, but it's never going to happen. Never ever going to happen. Those four teams in the top four, plausibly, but yeah, nothing. Interestingly, look at Chelsea. Chelsea are only 7 points ahead of us. They're in 6th position. So, despite the fact they sacked me, they're not the dominating force in Europe like I was going to make them. I was. I was going to make them. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. We'll come back after the January transfer window and show you if we make any transfers. I'm guessing we won't, but I'll get into that in the next episode. So if you enjoyed that episode, please leave a like. If you want to see more from the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And thank you very much for watching.